Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Zigzag Clips channel. I'm just quickly filming a video because I'm working on a project at the moment, Zigzag World. As part of that, I'm doing an urban section, so the map is going to be like a mix of urban and rural. And as part of the urban section, I'm going for a particular style of location, and they're kind of hard to find. And I want to get you guys involved if you so wish to be involved. So let me show you exactly what I'm after. So I wrote a checklist here. So basically, the idea of this map is that we're going to have locations that pretty much, there's not much going on. I think I had a nice one right here that kind of shows an example. It's very urban. You're surrounded by buildings. You have a bit of infrastructure, but there are no poles, no license plates, no flags, nothing that immediately gives it away. In this location, you could go Spain, you could go Tunisia, you could go California. There's a bunch of different options, and so I'm just like picking locations that like they're very urban. Oftentimes the country will be pretty obvious. Like you probably go United States here with these like bins and everything, but you feel me? They're very generic. So basically, this map is going to be built for like Team Jules, where like you're going to have people spreading across the whole country. And so basically, I'm just looking for urban stuff where it's just really not obvious where you are, and it's super. And also, so like I'm looking for locations that are closed in, like you're between walls, or like you're in the bushes, but with some houses. Clearly, I'm looking for more so stuff that's like kind of leaning quite urban. Also, so basically, you can select a bunch of locations on a map dash making dot app map once you sign in and make one, and then once you've like got a bunch of locations, you can just press export and then DM me the JSON. Or if you can't DM it to me for some reason, just send it inside mapping help, which is in Zigcord. Um, yeah, and so I've received a bunch of submissions so far, mostly in Europe. A lot of really nice ones. Like I really like this one, for example. Nice and urban. Still a bunch of houses, pretty closed in, but with some greenery as well. Always works. You can see this is just the vibe of the stuff we're going for here. Here I've like included some plates just because it's a pretty cool location with the banana plant and the kind of American looking house in Russia. That's kind of the vibe. So it's not particularly strict, but anyway, criteria that I've written. So very urban. Country should be preferably ambiguous. For example, this one's decently obviously Russia, but there can be a mix of skill levels. Like some lower level players will miss this, whereas higher level ones will get it. Not much text visible. No car meta or little car meta. If there is car meta, it shouldn't be stuff specific to the country. I included some Mombasa locations here, just always panning away from the car. Um, it's easy to look at the car and not realize that you can see the blur here, but you just pan it up. And that pretty much applies even for countries where it's not obvious. Like if you just see a bit of the blue car, it would normally be okay to just like pan it down. Okay, that's actually a tracker, never mind. But it would normally be okay to just pan it down towards the car because it doesn't really give anything away. But because we're going for a very specific style here, where we're pointing away from all the signs, we'd have it, facing upwards. So you can see the average way I've panned at them is quite a bit more upwards than you would expect if you're like a new mapper. Yeah. Voice break. So it's made for NMPZ. It should be facing towards the road. I think you guys kind of gotten a vibe here. So how to find these locations? Well, what you can do is go to countries and find very dense areas, and then look for laneways. That's actually a mall. Let me find a location on a lane. I think there should be a few here. Let's look in Mossman here. So yeah, Mossman's got a lot of lanes. So we're right between the buildings here. There's no road stuff. If you're on a big road, like a two-lane road is not really what I'm looking for on the map. It's like one-lane road, very densely packed. Look, you could, like, even though it's pretty obviously Australia here, this is such a cool location because you really have to vibe the buildings and the fences and the vegetation instead of anything else. But it's still urban, you know what I mean? So yeah, like these are perfect. So laneways, you can see that the buildings are kind of going closer into the lane. You can kind of like tell just by zooming into something. Like if this had stuff like this walk, then it would be perfect. Like this is a lane. It'll look nice and dense. Yeah, there's basically nothing going on here. So I wouldn't include that. I would try and move away from the sign. Honestly, this is pretty cool coverage as well. You can like go to older coverage as well if you want. I think it looks better in 2020 because, I don't know, the trees look nicer. And yeah, so if you want to send me 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, however many you want to make, and then I'll vet them and put the ones I like into the map, and you'll be credited when it's finally released. And I'm not expecting a lot, but if you so wish, that would be cool. US, we're missing a lot. Russia, I mean, Russia, Urban's kind of... You gotta go for special stuff in Russia because it's kind of boring for the most part, so... It's easy to make them. It's easy to make a cool one. But let's see. So if I was gonna make one here, I'm looking for, like, roads that go quick, like, tight between two buildings. Yeah, so this kind of thing. Okay, so that could work. I mean, as I said, it's very easy to make a hard one in Russia. But preferably if it's not, if it's kind of ambiguous, if it even is Russia or not, type of thing. So there you go. That's the kind of thing you look for, like roads that go between two buildings. Not many cars, not many signs around, and that's it. So I would say thank you for watching. And then so yeah, press export. I'm not going to do it because it probably brings up all my downloads and everything. But yeah, press export, and then just like save the panning so that I don't have to pan it. There's an option to click save panning. Actually, we can click that. So export everything, save zoom levels, save map making data, send it over. And yeah, so yeah, Brazil, US, Arg, Russia, India even. I mean, India, you don't even have to worry about the country being obvious, but just like some cool urban locations, because obviously it's got the crap cam. Thailand's missing at the moment. Indo, like, I think Indo is very cookable. I think Jakarta, you could have 100 locks in Jakarta just because it's so, like, if I was going to Jakarta, I'm like, okay, this is very dense here. We're right between the buildings, but there's probably too many shops here, so it's not quite what I'm after. Residential here, yes. Very tightly packed, yes. Look at this one. This is, the building's, like, going onto the road here. Oh, look at that. Perfect. See? It is actually pretty easy if you're smart about it, I would say. So there you go. That's what I'm after. Go cook some beautiful ones. If you want to know the vibe, that Australian lane I showed and this one I showed here are exactly what I'm after. But that Indonesian one we just found was also very nice indeed. Okay, thank you for watching, and goodbye.